Hello, everyone. Welcome to AgentChat Live. Today we have Tara Gilbert. Tara joined the Jennifer Day Chiara Literary Agency as an associate literary agent in 2020. She's been part of the publishing industry since 2017, previously working as an associate agent at Corvisiero Literary Agency and as an intern with Untitled Publishing. Tara spent over a decade learning the art of negotiation as a staffing professional in the aerospace industry before finding her passion as a literary agent. When Tara isn't reading manuscripts and working with other clients, she's usually caught wandering around Portland with her partner or loving on her fur babies. So please welcome. And I realize I don't know if it's Tara or Tara.
It's Tara, but that's
Tara. Okay. That's good because it rhymes with my name, so I'll remember that. Yay. So welcome, Tara, to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Lodestar. Hey, Jess. Ebony.
Hi.
So glad y'all can make it today. So for anyone who's watching the show for the first time or just need a refresher, my goal for this Agent Chat Live was to help potential clients get to know the literary agents a little bit better. So viewers are welcome to drop questions in the comments, but I do want to say off the start that I won't be asking questions that are like a Google search could answer or things like word count, genre definitions, things like that. And also anything that I call them pre-queries where they're like, would you be interested in this very specific concept? So yeah, feel free to drop your questions, just a heads up on those. Hey, Shelby. Hi, Mama Otness. I just love that name. All right, so let's just get started. Can you just tell us what categories and genres you represent? Easy softball question to start off.
Easy. Well, it's actually kind of hard for me because I represent pretty much everything in middle grade and YA. But in adult, I usually prefer spec fic, stuff with the literary bent, like upmarket fiction, some historicals. So no suspense or thrillers in adult. And I represent a little bit of nonfiction, usually like on the spiritual end, like tarot cards or something along those lines.
Sorry, I was trying to turn my volume up, and then my computer told me it was worried that I would hurt my ears, so I had to tell it was okay.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I heard,
Okay.
yeah, except for the part, so like when it told me it was going to hurt my ears, it dropped it way down, so I missed that part, but it's fine. I can go watch and rewatch it.
Okay.
Lothar said he loves your hair.
Thank you. I get that comment so much when I'm out in public. I'm like, okay, like it's Portland. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and
Mm,
like everybody's hair is a different color. So.
yeah. You know, it's funny when I went to Portland, I had my hair, it was pink. So
Yeah,
I just probably like fit right in, huh?
probably did. There's tons of people who change their hair. And I feel like during the pandemic,
Yeah.
everybody's just like, I'm gonna dye my
It's
hair.
funny because I've done the opposite because I'm like, well, no one's gonna see it, so I'm just gonna save it until I can see people again. I
I've
just use
tried it so many different colors during the
mhm,
pandemic now, just like I've experimented a lot. So I've
nice. I like pink. Pink's a good color. I just use overtone though, so mine's not super noticeable because I don't bleach my hair, so it just goes on top of my
mm,
light brown hair. So, all right. Sorry. No, you're posting on Instagram, so people are seeing it there. That's fine.
love it. I can see the tiny picture.
So you worked in aerospace industry for a while.
I
Um,
was a staffing
yeah,
manager.
how did you get into agenting and maybe why? You know, what drew you to it?
It's funny, I guess. I started writing, and so I found a writing group, and several of the other writers in the group were interns and are now agents. So one of them was working, did an internship with Entangled, and was like, "We have openings. Why don't you apply?" Because they knew I was sort of like interested, so I applied and I got the position, and then it kind of just spiraled from there.
Cool.
I absolutely love it. It's like the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Yeah. All
Nope,
right.
besides my partner.
Is he there? Like you just cover his
I'm
ears.
like, no, he's downstairs.
Like earmuffs. All right. So if you support my Patreon, I guess now is a good time to mention you can go to patreon.com/pubtalklive and support this show and other shows, and also the new event newsletter that I put out that I promise I will send out. It's ready to go. I just have to press send, by the way. So it goes out on Sundays. So if you support the Patreon at $5 or more, you can submit questions ahead of time for our guests. And so we have a couple of questions from Lodestar. I saw online Tara is into topics such as metaphysics, spirituality, witchcraft, crystals, tarot, etc. for nonfiction.
Mhm.
Is that an interest just in a professional sense, or is it also an area of personal interest? And there's a
It's an
follow-up
area.
question.
Okay. Well, it's definitely an area of personal interest. I actually have tarot cards right here. I just got these ones. These are
Oh my gosh, your cats, they're so cute.
They're totally cute. And no, I love the metaphysics. I have lots of crystals. I have so many tarot cards. And I'm really big on like intention, like putting out intentions into the universe. So it's definitely a personal thing too.
Cool. So the follow-up question was, if you could pick your favorite tarot card, which one would it be?
My favorite is probably the magician, but I identify most with the high priestess because I always get it in my draws. So the magician mostly I is kind of like a jack of all trades, which has always been kind of me, but I always pull the high priestess, which is actually on the back
Oh,
of my
nice.
phone. So that I always pull it. So and my friends
Okay.
always tell me that I'm the high priestess, so that's probably my favorite.
What is that? I don't know anything about tarot, so what does that mean?
The high priestess is like a very intuitive person. She's kind of like, how do I explain, the religious like the embodiment of like magic, I guess you could say is the best way to explain it.
Nice. Very cool. Um, the Pitchwords board, we have like one astrologer that we always read her like monthly horoscopes.
Hmm.
And I was just yelling yesterday. I was like, they're not out yet, Susan Miller. What are you doing? I was like, I need guidance in my life. And then right before we went on here, like they texted in the group that the horoscopes were up, but I haven't read them
Damn
yet.
it.
So
Oh no. I
But-
also am really into astrology too, so love it.
yeah. All right. So the second question from Lodestar is, which Avatar nation would you hail from and why?
I'm probably an airbender, and probably I would say mostly because I just feel like I was more like um, I just felt more in tune with air. I'm also a Gemini, so it made more sense to me to be air. Um, but water is also like a close second because I'm also on the cusp of Cancer. So water and air.
All right. Cool. All right, so let's get back to agenting a little bit. I'm going to give you a chance to brag about yourself a little bit. I always preface it like this because I'm like, I know how humble people in the industry can be, so I'm like, brag about yourself, you know? So, if someone is thinking about querying you and your wish list lines up with their work, why should someone query you? Why would someone want to work with you?
I am a huge cheerleader. Like I'm very big about making sure that my clients are feel good about their work and what they're writing. I am very open to what they want instead of what I want. Like I'm here to like represent them. And so if they want to work on something that it's not necessarily in the market, I'm open to it. Let's work on it, let's figure it out, and let's submit it. So um, I think that's the biggest reason why somebody, like if I like their work, why they should work with me, is just because I'm very flexible in that matter. And I am also like very adaptable to communication styles. Like a few clients who are autistic and they prefer emails. They don't want to like call on the phone or talk or anything like that. And I'm perfectly open to that. I'm not um, weird about having to talk to them on the phone or meet them in person or something along those lines. And I feel that I just adapt really well to different personality types. So.
Cool. All right. So if whenever you sign a client, what can they expect after that? What does your process normally look like?
Usually after I sign a client, we like get the agreement down. I send them an email that is kind of like our next steps. So when they can expect their first round of edits, how many edits I'm expecting to do, which is usually about three. A large developmental, and then a smaller like inline, and then a smaller one just to clean up a few more things, and then out it goes. I usually try to aim for 3 months after I sign somebody to get them out on sub, but that depends on um, how much work their work needs. And after that, we go out on sub. They have a spreadsheet that I have on Google Drive that I update as they're out on sub. So like they can look at it anytime they want. And if they don't want to look at it, they don't have to look at it. Like I totally understand being on sub is a scary process. So like they are totally free to like um like they know every step, and if they don't want to know every step, they don't have to.
We were just talking before going live about our love of spreadsheets. So
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
funny. That's great. All right. So I hear this question phrased a different way, and so I kind of want to like put a little header on it because I intentionally am asking kind of a different question. So the question you hear all the time is like, if you had a magic wand and what would you change about the industry? But um because I'm like such a pragmatic person, I want to know, what do you think realistically that we could change about the industry, and what do you think you would want to change first, like that we could possibly do without a magic wand?
Without a magic wand, I think personally I'd like to see just more inclusivity in all categories. Like I feel like YA and middle grade are doing pretty good with it, but I don't see it a lot in adult, and I'd like to see more of
All
it. I
right,
guess that
cool.
would be my number one.
Yeah.
Second would be like pay people a fair wage.
Yeah. Well, you covered on Pub Talk Live last week the announcement that Macmillan is raising their minimum starting salary to 42,000 for everyone, which is
Not in New York.
yeah. Well, that was the thing is there's like calculators where you can put in the salary equivalents in different cities. So like how much money. So basically I asked it, how much money would I have to make in Orlando where I am now to have the same lifestyle as someone making 42,000 a year in New York City? And I can't remember exactly what the number was, but it was like mid 20s. And it really puts it in perspective for you because you're
It
like,
does.
because some like, especially if you're from, a low cost of living area, you're thinking 42,000 sounds like a lot, but in New York City, it's still it's
It's
still going to be a
pennies.
challenge. Yeah. Um, but I mean, that's a conversation we've been having for years about industry salaries. So yeah, that would be a good one though. All right, so we're gonna do a quick round, just 5 questions that try to answer in 5 questions. Try to answer in 15 seconds or less.
Okay.
This should be pretty easy. So the first one has a little like preamble though. So when I was kind of trying to figure out what to call these episodes, the Agent Chat Live, I think it was Lodestar actually suggested snack time with an agent, which I really like the concept of because I felt like it fit, the vibe that I was going for. But I also
Hmm.
didn't want people to think it was only for like kidlit stuff.
Hmm.
So that's where this first question came from. But all right, so here we go. What is your favorite snack?
That's so hard. I'll just say probably chips.
Okay. I'm actually wearing mine today, which is a total coincidence. I did not realize until 15 seconds ago. I got a Cheez It shirt.
Yes. Awesome.
Um, yeah. All right. What is your preferred caffeine source?
Coffee. All the time.
Same, same. There are some team tea people here though, so be careful of them.
Oh, I love tea too, but that's like right before bed. So no,
Mm,
bring me down
yeah.
with it.
We do our Wednesday write-ins, and that's one of the questions I always ask is, what are you drinking tonight? And team tea is like insistent.
All the tea. I love Earl Grey.
Oh, nice. I don't know. I can't drink it. Um, what word, if there is one, do you irrationally hate?
I probably can't say
Is it a bad word?
it. It's a bad word. Well,
Is
it's
it
kind of a bad word. It's like a bad word, but it's also a cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually,
So
Jennifer said that last time. The P word?
yes,
Yeah,
I,
Jennifer said the same thing. That's funny.
depending on the context, I really just don't like it.
See, look, Team T is in the comments, just causing a
Earl
ruckus.
Grey.
I'm not the only one who doesn't like tea. There surely
It's
are other
true.
people.
It's true. My friend Allie, who is actually from the UK, doesn't
Oh, no.
like tea.
She probably has it worse than me then.
Just called her out. I just called her out.
I know. All right. What person that has not written one that you know of anyway, do you most want to read a memoir from?
Who has not written one? That's an interesting question. I don't actually read a lot of memoirs, so that's
I don't
hard
either.
for me to answer. Um, yep, can't think of anybody.
It's okay. I'll take a drink so you have a couple more seconds just in case.
Um,
It's all right. You
yeah,
can pass.
can't think. I'll pass because I'm
I
like I
don't
can't think of anybody.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of memoirs. I don't even know what I would answer for that question. I wrote it. So
Rude.
all right. Who's your favorite superhero?
Um, oh gosh, it changes all the time because it just depends. I love recently. I don't read a lot of comics, like Marvel
Hmm.
comics or anything like that. It was forever for like it was Batman forever since I was a little girl. But then when Marvel started getting really big, I think now I'm like love Valkyrie. Like I'm
Oh,
obsessed with her. So I really love her, and I can't wait to see more of her on the big
yeah. That's a good one. I like it.
screen.
All right, cool. So that didn't go as fast as it planned, but we had a little chatter in between, so it's fine. All right. So what is your single best query letter tip? Like if you could just tell people one thing, what
Short
would
and
it be?
sweet. Short and
Yes.
sweet.
Good.
I have to read so many. Please keep them short and to the point, precise.
And you just reopened recently, right?
I did.
Yeah.
The beginning of September. I'm closing again the beginning of November. Um, just because like I've signed a lot of clients recently, so I feel like there's only a couple of gaps in my lineup right now that I'm trying to fill before the end of the year, and then at the beginning of next year, then I'll have like pretty much everybody out on sub, and then I can start fresh.
Cool. All right. This is going to be a really thought-provoking question now.
Oh no.
What is a good literary name for a cat or a dog?
um, literary name. A cat or a dog? I'm trying to think. Like, does it have to be like a author, or can I choose something from a book that I like?
Yeah, it can be from a book. A lot of people choose character names.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nico. I
Nico?
love Nico. I love Nico from the Percy Jackson series.
Oh, okay.
And so I think if I had a little like boy cat or boy dog, I
Nice.
would name Nico.
Very good. My dog has a literary name, but most people don't realize it. His name is Jasper.
From Twilight.
It is from Twilight. Good job.
Okay, so my cat is Julian. I just call him Juju. But when we were trying to name him, I asked my partner, I was like, should I name him Julian or Jasper? And he was like, name him Julian so we can call him Juju. Like, okay. So it was almost Jasper.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out a good nickname for Jasper. Do you call him Jasper all the time,
I
or
call him
do you
Jazz a lot.
see? I have
Or
Jasmine, which is Jazz.
yeah. Well, we also I mean, because like my sister lived with me a lot of the time when I had him. I got him in 2009, 2008.
Hmm.
Um, which makes sense for the timing of the name.
Yeah.
But we call him all kinds of things like all the time. Like we call him like Bub and Boo Boo and Monster Face and like just nonsense names, you know?
I call mine Bougie a lot.
Oh yeah.
I
I
don't
had
know why.
to You said bougie, right?
Bougie. He's bougie.
I had to explain to my mom last night what bougie meant.
It's
And
interesting. It's an
it took
interesting
some
word.
it took some time because I had to explain to her what bourgeois meant.
Mm.
Because we lived in Cajun country for a while and there's like family names of it sounds very similar to bourgeois, but it's like
Hmm.
slightly different. And she's like,
Bourgeois.
yeah, so she thought it was like a nickname for someone with a Cajun last name.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, oh no, no, no.
Bougie.
Well, it was we were watching the Florida Gators game. Well, we were watching it on replay. And Steve Spurrier had given someone like a tiny bottle of Sutter Home because he's like, I'll
Hmm.
bring you a bottle of wine. And it was a joke because it was like a little bottle of Sutter Home. And so they started talking about alcohol. And one of the guys called the other guy bougie because of his like alcohol taste.
Uh-huh.
And so that's where it all came from.
Nice.
Shelby's from Cajun country. All right. Where was I at? I don't even know. Okay. What is your favorite thing about being a literary agent?
I'm going to say contract negotiations. It's so weird. It's my
No one's
favorite
ever
part
said
first.
that.
I love negotiating. Okay, like obviously, like my career has been mostly like negotiating salaries and everything, but it's so different now since I'm moving into agency to negotiate like contracts and what's because like I'm really going to bat for the author at that point. Like I'm really trying to get them the best deal. And it's just kind of like this like amazing high once you like kind of like get that win. And it's so much fun. Like and then it's just like you get them a really good deal and you get to tell them and then they're happy and yeah, it's probably my favorite part.
That's cool.
Mhm.
So are you like one of those agents that people fear? They're like, I don't want to negotiate with this person or
I don't I don't know if I've been in the industry long enough for that to be like a thing yet, but I hope they don't fear me. Like I mean, editors and agents are on the same side. They want the book to succeed. So
hmm
I feel like they also don't want to like not give them the best deal, but at the same time their hands are tied if they can't give them the best
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Um, that's so funny. I guess
deal.
you did that for a while though before you started agenting. So,
I
um,
was like, when I first did my first one, I was a little bit scared. And then I got started getting into it and reading the contract, and I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. It's mostly the negotiation part. Like the contracts, once you get to that stage, is a little tedious,
yeah,
but the negotiation part is a lot of fun.
cool. All right. So, what are the last couple of books, published books, I should say, you read that you really enjoyed?
I recently read House on the Cerulean Sea, and oh my God, I've been a fan of TJ Klune for a while. But that book is just like the warm hug I've needed in 2020. I keep saying this, and it's taken that hole that she who must not be named
Yes.
and like was placed there because it is just so like it's kind of got that same voice a little bit and it's so magical and it's just like the kids in it are so cute and there was a slight romance in it and it's like queer and wonderful and everything I love. So that's is probably the biggest one that I've been screaming about lately. Trying to think of what else I read. Oh, I just finished Cemetery Boys, and that was
Yeah.
just like the ending was like I'm like sobbing in my bed, and I'm like, oh my So that was also a really good
Yeah. Solitary Voice that was actually my audiobook of the week on the show last week. So um
one.
yeah, I like that one a lot.
Definitely deserved the New York Times bestseller for sure.
Yeah, and he's still on it 3 weeks
Yeah,
now.
yes,
So
very
so
excited.
happy for Aiden. Love
Hmm.
Aiden. He's so fun. Um, his agent was the last agent I had on Agent Chat Live, Jennifer
Yeah, I saw
Marshall.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm. I did see
uh,
that one.
yeah. I love talking to her. We met at a conference in Portland, actually.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And she's done like a couple of things for my library. And then she's been on the show, of course. So really like talking to her.
She seems really nice. I
She
haven't met her.
is, yeah, she is really nice. I feel like most agents are nice. Like a lot of people have this idea of agents that they're like big, like scary people, and they just want a reason to reject you. Um, I know
Like
it's
everybody I've met in the book industry is just really, really nice. I mean, there are of course probably some bad seeds, obviously, but for the most part, like everybody has been really
yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, so those are all the planned questions I have for you. If you have any questions in the audience, please let me know. I can just kind of like make things off the top of my head too. My original target for the show was 30 minutes, so we're good.
great.
Um, but yeah, so if y'all have questions, make sure you get them asked in the chat. Um, so what have you noticed? Like, I guess you've been working since 2017, but this year with the pandemic and everything, what have you noticed? Is there any kind of changes that you think are going to stick around, or you know, what's going on? Tell us what's
I'm
happening.
really hoping that like the work from home situation is gonna like stick for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of publishing companies have opened up remote internships and they've opened up more like paid remote part-time positions, and I'm hoping that sticks after the pandemic is over because that is really how we're gonna like change publishing as a whole. Is if we're gonna be able to give people the chance to be in publishing who are not in New York. So like people who can't afford to live in New York, the less privileged, will be able to get into publishing more easily.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that sticks around.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who um, said that they couldn't have had the careers in publishing that they had if they hadn't had like a spouse supporting them, or like family, or somewhere to stay with family in the city or
Hmm.
something like that. And so it's definitely I think one of the biggest challenges of this industry is we don't pay enough people to live in New York City.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Lodestar had a question. I don't know what this word is though. So how do you feel about, I don't know what that is.
uh, the Ophiuchus one.
Yeah.
I honestly actually don't know what it is either. I
Okay.
like looked it up on Google real quick, and it's a constellation, or is constellation straddling.
Oh, is it the
But
13th? Is it the 13th constellation?
maybe. So I don't know a
Yeah,
lot about it.
I heard someone on a podcast talk about it recently. Um, but basically they just rejected it because like 12 is a good number.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar, and I rejected it. That's why I don't know about it. I was like, yeah, 12's good. 12's been around for so long, and it's so accurate. The zodiac, the 12 zodiac. So I feel like it's really accurate.
If you feel comfortable sharing, Katie asked, how many queries are you getting right now?
It's just it depends on kind of like the day. It ranges
Yeah.
from like the other day I got like zero within a 24-hour period, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
is my query manager
Yeah.
broken? It wasn't. But then I've gotten like 60 in a day, so it's just
Yeah.
depends on the day.
I know. I don't know. Tell me if you've seen a trend. I hear some agents talking about like they're getting more queries than usual during the pandemic. And we kind of had a similar experience with Pitch Wars. Some people are like, I think we're going to get fewer entries because people are stressed and people whatever. And I was like, I don't know. I think we're gonna get more entries because people are home. Like a lot of people are,
People have finished their books, so they went to
yeah.
query. Yeah.
And
There's been more time to finish books, so yeah, queries have been up a little bit, and I feel
yeah.
like there's a lot of really unfinished
Mm,
manuscripts that we get. So definitely make sure your manuscript is ready.
yeah.
Several edits before you send to
Yeah.
pitchers or an agent.
Have you seen that agents talk about like a whole bunch of kind of unfinished or not ready manuscripts in December because of NaNoWriMo? Have you seen that?
I'm trying to think in the past. I usually like mention in December to please not send me your unfinished manuscript. So I feel like I year round I get a lot of unfinished manuscripts no matter what. Like
Hmm.
there's just still um manuscripts that I receive, and then I have my standard um, task that's I don't think this is ready for me yet. Here's some suggestions on how to edit your manuscript.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for coming on,
Thank
Tara.
you.
And the Tara's links are in the description right now, so you can go. Um, there's a website and a Twitter and JD Let's website. I think are the three that are there.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, there are 20. I'm not getting. This is not the Zodiac show. We're not going to get into that.
I'll look that up.
I literally know so little about it's funny because I consult Susan Miller all the time, but I don't know. I don't even know what like the characteristics of a Libra are or anything. Like I just don't know.
Oh,
So I
they're
won't
probably
even
talking about like your sun sign, your Venus sign. Maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. Astrology's not my strongest suit. I love it, but it's not something like there's so much to it that I don't have time to study it like some other people.
yeah. Um it seems really complicated.
It is.
Um
It's a lot of math too. So
oh, I love math. Maybe I should look into it more. All right. Thank you, Tara, for joining us.
mhm.
Find Tara on Twitter and on the website and social media, or no, sorry, the JD Lit website. Um, and everyone stay safe. The next Pub Talk Live is next Saturday. It's going to be with T.S. Ferguson and Sandra Mitchell. Flip that. It's going to be with Sandra Mitchell and T.S. Ferguson. Um, Sandra's going to be the guest co-host and TS is going to be the special guest. And we're continuing the Wednesday write-ins through October, so make sure you join that. If there's going to be another presidential debate, we'll do another distraction write-in then too. So yeah, if that happens, keep an eye out for that. Thank you all so much for joining us. Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.